So I wasn't born into wealth or received a big trust fund. I started out in single family real estate grinding for every deal. But when I started to live a Christ-centered life, as wild as it may sound, I actually studied what the Bible says about building wealth. Everything changed. I went from struggling to buy 10 or 20 single family properties just to replace my income to structuring one multifamily deal that created $2.6 million in equity within 15 months. And it all came from one Bible story that most people overlook. A story about the wealthiest man who ever lived. Some say his net worth would be equal to $3 trillion in today's money, which is almost 10x what the current wealthiest people, maybe 5x what Elon has, right? When I understood what made him wealthy, this one guy, I realized I've been doing real estate completely wrong. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through that exact story and show you how the principles that are outlined in the story transform my investing. Okay, some of this might challenge what you've been taught about money and faith, might even make you angry. But if you're ready to see what God actually says about building wealth, stay with me. Let's dive in. So the wealthiest man who ever lived, King Solomon. Most people know of his story and how God came down and said he would give Solomon whatever he wants, and Solomon's one ask was for wisdom. You may have heard that before, which really by itself is wild to think about. Imagine a genie comes out of a bottle and says, you get one wish. And instead of asking for wealth, because, hey, look, I could do so much good in the world if I just had wealth. Instead, he asked for wisdom. Solomon understood the key to life, all right? Making an impact, having true purpose, all the things that people are actually trying to get with money is actually not going after money. It is wisdom. So before we get into the primary focus, the first realization I had is the wealthy don't go after money, they go after wisdom, all right? And they pursue it with everything they have. Solomon, the wealthiest person to have ever lived, said in Proverbs to seek wisdom like treasure or silver. He also said, cry out for insight, and wisdom is supreme. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Warren Buffett says he even spends 80% of his time reading and learning so that he is able to make just a few decisions that can multiply his wealth. Abraham Lincoln said, you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening my axe. So point number 1 is to get in front of people that are where you want to be, model them, consult with them. My partner and I both spend around multiple 6 figures a year to be in rooms of people that are further ahead than we are. And it has always paid off, especially in commercial real estate. This one thing 10x my portfolio just because of one connection, just one piece of advice. It can be the difference between getting where you wanna be in 10 years, 20 years, or getting where you wanna be in 2 years. It was when I met my partner, I started investing in larger multifamily, and now together we have over 500 million in assets under management. So next point, risk is an advantage of the diligent. In the parable of the talents in Matthew 25, God gave each servant a certain amount of talents, and each one went away for a long time and then came back with different results. Each one had different results. Most of them had at least multiplied what God had given them through investing. But the point of this story actually revolves around the one who received one talent and only came back with one talent because he hid his treasure, scared to lose that one talent he had. God ultimately rebuked the servant and painted a picture of condemnation. And the worst thing you could possibly do is not take risk and not put your money to work. Everything in life is risky, right? Jim Rohn even says, you wanna know how risky life is, you're not gonna get out alive. It's funny, but life rewards the bold. If you get the first point and surround yourself with counselors and wisdom, you have to then be bold and take risk or you're not gonna grow. Lastly, something most people don't know is that Solomon was the son of King David in the Bible. All right, Solomon was known for his wisdom and wealth, but David was known as a man after God's own heart and for intimacy and prayer. I believe the implications here are wisdom is founded in prayer and spending time with God first. So this involves spending time in the quiet, right? And spending time learning from God. It is my mission in life to show that God's world makes the biggest impact in the physical world if believers can trust him and walk with him. So to sum up this point, spend time praying, asking God for what you need and desire, and seek him in everything you do, and he will make your plan succeed. If there's one thing I know, it is that God answers prayer. John 16:24, ask anything in my name and it shall be done. He has constantly come through and taken my small-minded thinking and went above and beyond in my family, in my income, my knowledge, and so many other things. It's during that time when you're spending time alone in the quiet that you begin to know what to do more clearly. Just simply ask. As wild as that may sound, simply ask Jesus for what you need and the things that you have on your heart, and he will answer. So I hope that helped. I hope that gave you some ideas around the very thing that changed my life can also change yours. I've seen it time and time again. We've helped hundreds of investors scale their portfolio from 1 or 2 doors or even 0 doors to hundreds, multiple hundreds of doors. So if you're somebody who is a kingdom-minded investor and you want to find a community of people that you can partner with to scale faster than you could on your own, I'd love to connect with you and see if our mastermind might be a good fit for you. So I'll drop a link in the description and would love to see you there. God bless.